So it kind of leads us to my question for you, and it's very related to this scenario. Let's use the same scenario, all right? But we're going to just focus on the sales team and the dynamic between sales and marketing. This is where the most friction is. And the situation is that marketing is generating MQLs, marketing qualified leads. And they're in the form of first name, last name, email, maybe a couple other data points if they're lucky. And they're turning those over to sales. And sales is coming back, and they're like, these leads suck, right? And marketing's like, actually, you guys can't close. What's the problem there? Isn't the marketing department responsible for the leads and then giving them to sales so that they can close them?
So I really appreciate you asking me that question, especially since I just did a webinar on this week. So it really
I did not
does
know that.
it comes down to working in tandem or collaboratively with sales about what the definition of a lead amounts to, or how we're defining the MQL.
Right.
So here's the
So,
problem.
okay.
Yeah, here's the problem. The old definition of MQL is link clicks, engagement, downloads. Those kind of things are based on more of a 2011 type of measurement, which assumes that everyone is starting their search on Google
Right.
for a solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that they still trust or ultimately found the information they're looking for from the vendors themselves. Today, we get a lot of stuff. We don't trust the vendors as much.
Nope.
We trust our peer network much more. And we're bombarded with so much stuff. If I do a Google search, I'm getting a myriad of results. I still don't know where to look, right?
Right.
So that definition, the progressive definition of an MQL, is closer to what we call sales ready. So they're ready to take a demo. There's definitely showing some buyer intent, and the lead meets our ideal client persona when it comes in. So if somebody comes in, you look at the company that they're coming from, and it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely in our target account, right?
Right.
Depending on what they're clicking on, I think it becomes more of a sales process issue and how you want to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the days are gone where we're just calling the lead, no matter what it is, within 5 minutes. That used to be the goal, right?
Right. So some of it's timing, but it's. I'm thinking about, you said two big things there. It's one is it should be a collaboration, not a war. Make love, sales and marketing, not war. And also that you gotta have. It's funny because I said lead, and I kind of suspected you would go there. What's a lead? You talk to these guys over in that department, and those guys over there, and the executives guys, and this guy. Everybody has a different definition. Nobody verbalizes it, right? So getting a common definition, and yours was real specific. In fact, some companies I've seen, hey, not only ideal client profile and all that needs to be on this list of companies,
Right.
very specific, right? And then there's
demonstrating a certain number of buying triggers, right? Like something that indicates that they're in a buying window. Now that definition can vary, and I'm not pushing that definition on anyone because there's a lot of politics involved with this. And the reality is that within different organizations, especially if they're really sales focused cultures,
right.
If marketers give up the vanity metric of an MQL being link clicks, downloads, they're liable to lose some of their funding.
Right, because their numbers are going to go down. Their quality is going to go up, but nobody's measuring that. They're only measuring the numbers.
But ultimately, that's where you need to be to get full sales and marketing alignment. If there's no question as to what constitutes a lead, and something comes in and marketing passes it over, sales can't come back and say, well, this lead stinks because it meets your definition.
Right. You know, this ties our two questions together today. It's you notice when I said one of the first things I would do is go talk to the sales team, right?
Yes.
I want to hear what their definition is of well, not just what an MQL is. I want to know their expectation in detail as a marketer, and then we're going to continue in a loop and meeting on a regular basis. And it's a process, right? It's the only way I know of to break down the walls, to get people on the same page, moving to the same objectives. And you're not always going to get a perfect agreement across the board. Sometimes the president or CEO may have to step in and say, "Hey, I've listened to all of the arguments, and here's what we're going to do." And then everybody gets on the train, right? It's a unified thing, and it's a moving target. So you have to meet regularly, and it's just that is how you bring those things together. I think it also speaks to the type of it's. I think why we don't see it, we see more bad examples of this than we do good, is because it's actually fairly complex. It's how do I put this? It's difficult. You have to get the subject right. You have to have the structure right in order to be able to gauge intent, right? So, example, you're giving away an iPad, right? Man, that's a wildly popular campaign we got there, giving away iPads, And let's say you sell cardiac imaging workstations, all right? This is based on a real story. Well, I won't say the name of the company. Great big company at a trade show making cardiac imaging workstations that starts with G, because I already let it loose, right? So they were giving away iPads. Their booth was full. It was unbelievable. I'm working for one of their competitors at that time as their CMO. And, I just would laugh because it's like all those people, you know what they care about? iPads, not cardiac imaging workstations. So great. You got great numbers. You know what? We're talking to actual leads. So enjoy that. They also had booth babes, actually. This company who shall remain nameless. I bet that's not too PC now, is it?
No.
Hate to say that, but it's true. Only because we couldn't get them. I don't know. Never mind. But that's the concept. I think is like what you have to talk about precise things to get people's attention. And even you and I, as we work on this program, it's hard to do that, right? Like right now, I don't know what our headline is going to be on this show, but it's going to be something juicy and it's going to tell the truth.